We'd like to extend thanks to our sponsors: Brightwood Architecture Education, Finner and Esler, Klein and Hoffman, Langan, Members First Federal Credit Union, Offit Kermanen, Attorneys at Law, MMP&S, Desmond Architects, University of Pennsylvania, Civil and Environmental Consultants, Inc. Welcome to the AIA Pennsylvania Architectural Excellence Digital Design Awards broadcast. Tonight would not be possible without you, the members, the board members of AIA Pennsylvania, the awards committee, the AIA Pennsylvania team, and most importantly, our sponsors. The AIA Pennsylvania 50-Year Timeless Award is given in recognition of a building that has endured the test of time and still resonates with the design community and the public. AIA Pennsylvania presents Pittsburgh's Mellon Square and Alcoa Building with the 2018 50-Year Timeless Award. In 1949, the Mellon family donated a block of Pittsburgh's downtown to create Mellon Square, a public plaza with street-level retail and a 6-story parking garage beneath. The story goes that over a Labor Day weekend in 1955, James Mitchell of Pittsburgh-based Mitchell & Ritchie Architects, now DRS Architects, drew up the basic concept of a park and underground garage. His sketch won the approval of R.K. Mellon. Mitchell & Ritchie worked closely with landscape architects Simmons & Simmons, now Environmental Planning and Design, to complete the square in October of 1955. Slightly more than an acre, the surface park is an oasis of fountains, terrazzo walks, granite benches, and a variety of vegetation. Harrison and Abramowitz worked with Mellon Square architecture firm Mitchell & Ritchie to complete the former headquarters of the Aluminum Company of America, or Alcoa Building, in 1953. Overlooking Mellon Square, the building was designed to show off the decorative and functional use of the aluminum. It was the lightest tall office building ever built, with the world's first aluminum facade. In 2012, PMC Property Group of Philadelphia acquired the renamed Regional Enterprise Tower and converted floors 14 through 31 from offices to apartments, employing the architectural services of Pittsburgh-based firm Strada, one of 2 architecture firms located in the building. As of 2017, the Pittsburgh arm of Bolin Sywinski Jackson also calls the Alcoa Building home.
Great cities are ones that have spaces for people. People-oriented spaces work best when there is a lot of activity at the ground floor surrounding that square, that piazza. Think about Union Square and Gramercy Park in New York City. You know what great people spaces those are. So Pittsburgh, and this is speculation on my part, having sort of this working class ethic, we're all serious, we're all about business, did not have a great tradition of public places where people could sit and relax. As I understand the story, with Alcoa starting as a corporation here in the 19th century and having their headquarters here, that there was a movement afoot after the war to move the headquarters to New York City. The Mellon family, particularly Richard King Mellon, did not want to see that happen and put a lot of pressure on Alcoa at that time to consider staying in the downtown core. And part of that deal was to create a parking garage, and the parking garage then got covered with this iconic Mellon Square Park. And that parking garage was to serve the needs of the Alcoa Corporation. And so Mellon Square was really important because it was surrounded by tall buildings from the William Penn on the one side to the Alcoa Building, and then the Oliver Building across Smithfield Street. From the moment it opened, it was perceived as an oasis where workers could take a lunch break, a coffee break, a smoke break, and just come out and relax in that space and be surrounded by great architecture and lots of activity at the ground level. The Alcoa Building started roughly under construction in 1951. Dieter Ritchie-Sippel was the architect for the Mellon Square, and that happened in the 2 years following the completion of the Alcoa Building. So it was really close 5-year span. Alcoa was part of a broader movement going on at that time in the United States in terms of modernism. Alcoa Building was supposed to feature aluminum, so aluminum panels on the outside, aluminum decorative panels on the inside, aluminum wiring, aluminum pipes for heating and cooling all of the office spaces. So it really maxed out on the use of aluminum and finding ways to make the building a teaching laboratory, as it were, for how to use these materials going forward.
In terms of the process of constructing the outside of a high-rise building, a masonry building like the William Penn would of course require masons and scaffolding to put all the bricks and backup materials on it. This is one of the first, what we would now call unitized enclosure systems. So that building was erected, each panel was put in place as opposed to individual sticks or individual bricks that were put together. So what we call that today is unitized construction.
What's really important about this building, one of the people that I really admire is Stuart Brand. His greatest book is How Buildings Learn, and it talks about the different service lives of all the components within the building, that the structure lasts forever and the mechanical systems last maybe 15 years and the enclosure lasts 30 years. And so a really successful building, a building that learns and adapts with time, is able to swap out those systems and continue to be relevant and important office space or residential space. So I think the Alcoa Building has demonstrated its timelessness by having undergone this huge transformation, that they were able to reuse this building, so it was never demolished. It's substantially in its original form, so to me that really is the proof of time, is that it remains as an important structure within the urban fabric. The timeless significance of Mellon Square and the Alcoa Building, in my mind, is related to the revisioning of the city, and that these buildings played a really significant role in beginning the process of making Pittsburgh the city that it is today.